Are you ready?
My name is Vanta.
There are three things that impact how we as creators create our lives. First, it's the way we think, and these thoughts come from who we are, who we have been, who has influenced us, how we've been brought up, our social settings, our environments. But mostly, it is the way we feel. And that leads me to your number two, our feeler. How we feel is everything. That is how we are attracting and communicating with the universe. And then there's your third one, it's how we act out. And how we act out is basically from where you're connected. Are you either connected to your thinker, or you connected to your feeler, or are you just reactive and not responsive? So today I'm going to take you into your thoughts and your pathways so that you're able to get to manifesting more with the things that you want. You ready? Let's go. So thoughts are just doing one thing and one thing only. They are vibrating and energetically communicating so they can become actions. It is how you are feeling that's going to make that interactive action either a possible experience or not. But if you're thinking it, it is processing through its experience to act out. So what people don't understand, and what we are not brought up with, and what we are not brought up to learn and understand, we learn through this experience, is that how we think is how we are bridging our pathways. And these pathways are connectors. We connect through this energy field that is absolutely invisible, and it is called the non-physical field between our emotions, our thoughts, and this energy blueprint that we live in. So why is that important? Because in this great awakening that you're in right now, it is time to know that if these thoughts are yours, you want to be paying attention to how you're feeling. But if these thoughts are not yours, then you need to build some muscle and have discernment so that you're able to navigate your life, so that you're not acting out other people's thoughts or thoughts that have no relevance in your life and are just creating chaos, struggle, and a sense of lack. So let's look at a thought form and what it does, because the thought form is just traveling. It's traveling through these waves, okay, and the stream of sound. That is how we are impacted. So it does make a difference who you're with. It absolutely makes a difference where you're at and where you are. In a place like this, nature is beckoning your alignment. But when you walk into a room that is combustive of sounds and arguments and aggressions and fears and worries, you need to know that you need to overcome those thought forms by being in alignment with your natural rhythm and you knowing your own thought process. Why does this matter? Oh, it matters because we're living in the fastest paced time of our evolution. We as human beings are spiritual beings emanating this vibration and frequency, and everybody's waking up to vibration, and everybody's waking up to a frequency, and everybody's waking up to thoughts that are coming into actions. Thoughts have always come into actions. Napoleon Hill was one of the greatest authors and still is today. But you can think and grow rich, but you will only be rich if you absolutely are in alignment and feel that richness within your core and your consciousness. And that is the difference between those that have the ability to become rich, those that have the ability to manifest, those that have the ability to understand who they are being because they know who they are. So today is just a great step, a great reminder, just a flick of a conversation, if you may, to remind you that your thoughts matter. But are you waking up with a consciousness that is positive, that energizes you, that gives you hope, that feels good? And that's how simple I want to leave this here today for you, to remind you that if your thoughts are not feeling good, well, guess what's going to happen? more thoughts that don't feel good are going to come into experience, because that is what you're vibrating. That is what frequency is about. That is what you're tuning out, and that is what you're radiating and sending out the signal into this beautiful world. You have to remember that this is a benevolent world. Everything that God created is created from the goodness and source of light. The duality comes from the contrast and the contrast experiences of either our minds and other people's minds, and generations of darkness, where love was still a possibility. But love is powerful. Now, can you think love? No. But you can think of thoughts that create lovable moments and that help you create a space of peace that can bridge the gap between a thought that does no longer feel good to something that starts feeling a little bit better for you. And that is where you start mastering this ability to bridge the gap between those thoughts that no longer serve you and the thoughts that are able to bridge the gap and close you into manifesting those things that your higher self knows you want. Your dreams, your goals, that happy space. Those are not thoughts, those are feelings. But if you're not thinking in a way that serves you and brings conscious awareness to who you are, then you can't evolve. And this is the time of awakening. This is the time for us to evolve. Not you, not me, but everybody. It is a time that you know you're a spiritual being. It is a time that you know that you are eternal. You know that you are physically manifesting what you are creating. So staying with that is just understanding your basic three things. 1, you're a thinker. 2, you are a feeler. 3, the choice is yours. Either you're responding in your life or you're reacting. The choice is always going to be yours. So make a conscious choice. Think thoughts that support you. And what happens when you can no longer interrupt those thoughts that take you from that good feeling space? What do you do? What do you do in a fast-paced environment? What do you do when you are irritated, frustrated, in fear and worried? What do you do? I don't suggest that you pray out of fear, but I do suggest that you start and interrupt that thought process by breathing and connecting, and then praying from a place of hope and knowing and expectation, as if it's already being done, it's already being delivered, your prayers have already been answered. Ask and you shall receive. It is not written in every sacred book because it is. It is because it is so. Pay attention to what you're asking, listen to what you are thinking, and feel it, because that is where the magic is. That is where you are being the creator. That is where you are tuned in. That's when you are connected and you knowing how and who you are being, so that you can discern from the thoughts that are not yours. So I invite you to understand that choose the people carefully. Choose your spaces even more carefully. Be tuned into your thought processes and understand that you're a powerful creator and that you're the true manifester of your experiences. But thinking something is no longer the glue. You have to think it and you have to feel it for it to be so. In fact, that's not even the truth. The truth is feel it, and those thoughts will match up to your feelings, and that is the way it is. So stay tuned as we are manifesting and creating conversations to close the gap so that you're understanding more of who you are and just reminding yourself that you're a divine, special, eternal spiritual being. Truly the creator and master of your life.
My name is Vanta.
So here are a few tips that will remind you that you do have the power to interrupt any thought that you are figuring out that no longer feels good to you. So in this non-physical, physical experience of our lives, there's a lot of more of us that we sometimes are not being educated on or brought into awareness. So it takes a little bit of a belief to understand. But the times are gone when you are shortcoming yourself that you are an energy eternal being. You are a spiritual being. Spirituality is everywhere and it's in everything. Every source of life has its own life and spiritual thread. And we, and you and I, are not excluded from this. So, when we think, we're not thinking inside our heads. It's an energy source that's all around us. Around us and around every aspect of us between left and right, there's this energy field. And some would think that there is this nothingness here, which is not true. This is filled with your thoughts and your feelings and a vibrational tone, a vibrational frequency. How you think and how you feel is based on what's inside this energy blueprint, this energy bubble that you're carrying inside you. So I need to remind you, so you're having these thought processes, well, you're having these thoughts because this thought's coming from within you and these pathways are connecting. That's when you need to know who's the master of this thought. Because if it's not a happy thought, if it's not a good thought, yours or not, you still have to be the master of this thought so that you're able to have power over yourself so that you can stay in true alignment with who you are. So here is something that in case you have forgotten, and if you have, let me remind you, because we are energy beings and vibrational frequency is everything, we have connectors. This is an energy wheel. We are connected. We are all connected. This here is what you would call an energy wheel. Some people would call it a chakra. Some people would call it an energy wheel of light. So it carries your wisdom, but it reminds you of how you are connected. And so when the thought comes and reminds you, okay, that you're now feeling and now you're able to say things that are just disgruntled and hateful and meanful, are you connected to your heart, or are you connecting to your mind or the energy around you? There is no higher connection between yourself and your higher good within your heart that is going to be mean, or is going to be fearful, or is going to be struggling, or going to be in lack or in fear of what is not possible. Now, I'm not talking about fearful situations that are coming through intuition. I'm talking about your life and life exchanges and real life episodes. I'm talking about fear of money, or fear that he doesn't love you, or fear that she said something, or fear that there's not enough, or fear, whatever those fears are. How you connect makes all the difference to how you line up. So, what a great, great reminder to remember that everyone has a tool. And nowadays, there are so many profound tools out there. There are so many wonderful creators out there, and healers, and coaches, and gurus, and people that are really in tune to something great. But what you want to remember, that your number one tool is for free. Your number one tool connects you to the divine source that has the power to connect you and to disconnect any disruption that is not in alignment with you. That tool has the power to disengage from lower frequencies, distortions, and chaos. Frequencies that rattle the lower end of civilization. That is your breath. If you're able to just learn to breathe, learn to just pause, if you're able to just learn to connect to your divine breath, the breath that connects your higher self to you and into your heart, then you are evolving. Then you are going to be able to take that space then and then go and meditate, and then go and think, and then go and feel and take action. Because that breath right there is the space between you, your higher self, and your consciousness. That breath right there is going to interrupt that lower conspiracy or danger or worry or fear or anxiety. And by the way, anxiety are fears, they're disorganized thoughts. And sometimes why people are so anxious and disorganized is because those thought processes are really not theirs. And when something is not yours, it's very difficult to compartmentalize and to put it into your own storage or into your own bank. If it's not your thought, then you have to work so much harder to calibrate and collaborate with it, because it's not yours, it's not your vibration, it's not your frequency. So who knows that? You do. Your true self knows that. Your intuition knows that. You have a knowing. And that is where your emotional guidance is so important. So step one is connect. Connect to your divine breath that connects you to your heart, so that you can override the thoughts, so that you're able to now see, you're able to now see from this wheel of light into an inner space that is peaceful, that has the good for you, that has hope, that has the bridges that close the gap into your dreams and into the space that is waiting there for you. No one else can create for you, just like no one else can take away from you. It is only you that has the power to create for you and over you. You can affirm all day long and wish somebody bad, or wish somebody to fall, or wish somebody to do that. And they will fall and they will have a bad day if they are disconnected to themselves and not connected to their own selves. You have the power to affirm the goodness within you and for others. So knowing that you're this eternal being, knowing that your thinker actually has a job, and its job is to be benevolent and be part of this creative force that enriches this universe, so that we are able to overcome our own doings, our own creations, our own contrast. That is where this awakening is so exciting for you, me, and everybody. Learning that the basic simple things are the things that bring us joy. How many of us ask for more time to just be with ourselves? Now that becomes a luxury, the highest commodity, in fact. When was the last time you heard the bird sing, or a butterfly flutter, or look at a flower blossom? Those are things that come there, but you can't go look at the flower blossom in the middle of winter. You have to know your seasons. You've got to be knowing your rhythms. You've got to be knowing that these thoughts and where they're coming from have a start and a beginning and somewhere in between. You are the one that's in charge. Understanding that your connector, these wheels of light, will impact the way you are seeing yourself, and those within you will impact and influence what you're saying. And just these three wheels of light, and you just being aware that how you connect and how you see yourself and how you are communicating is everything to start thinking and bringing your thinker and the voice of your thoughts to being productive, positive, and able to help you mold all of your creations into experiences that will enchant you, that will deliberately revitalize you, and will rejuvenate any sleeping old dog.